So today I'm going to be telling you how to contend for your child's destiny or for your children's destiny, or how to pray for your child the right way and get results. Now, you must understand that children are born pure, but of course, destinies are contested for. Welcome back to my channel. You must understand that the enemy doesn't wait for your child to get older before he begins afflicting them, attacking them, and plotting evil against them, especially if they are the seeds of the righteous, or if they are, if they belong to you, the believer. So that is why you begin early to pray for your child. You don't wait until your child gets older, or even until you give birth to your child before you pray for them. So it's important that you begin early to speak into the lives of your children. So if you've not given birth, or you are an expectant mom, and you are seeing this video, then you are privileged, because what I'm going to be telling you in this video will help you to prepare the grounds for your unborn children. And when they come into this earth, they will have an easy life. And as in, they will have a life that has been prepared for them already, because you are going to do it the right way. So to intercede for your children, you must understand how these things work. You must understand how to go about it, how to pray the right way. So to begin with praying for your child the right way, you have to first of all seek God's opinion concerning your child. You have to know what God's plan for your child is. You can't change destinies. Just have to accept the fact that you can't change people's destiny. Men walk into this earth with destinies already made. Like, you can't change anybody's destiny. You can't change your children's destiny. You can't even change yours. Destinies are given by God. They are assigned by God. That is why if you want to pray your child into destiny, or you want to pray for them the right way, you must be sure that you are not praying them outside of destiny, or that you're not complicating their lives. And maybe that is why your prayers are not answered. Because I see a lot of parents, sometimes they want their children to live their own dreams, or to live the dreams they never lived. Maybe they had a plan for their life that they were not able to achieve, or they had a vision that they didn't finally, walk in the reality of it. And here they have children, and they want their children to walk in that light. And of course, it's not bad to have a beautiful dream for your children, or have a great plan for your child. But of course, you must be sure that you are not complicating their lives or causing them to walk in disobedience towards God's plan for their life, because at the end of the day, they are not going to, benefit from such. Now, I've seen many people sometimes also choosing courses in school for their children. Like, many times I've been out for evangelism, and I've met students who told me that they are simply studying this particular course. Some of them are medical students, some of them are into different fields. They are like, I'm doing this because my mom and my dad, or my dad wants me to do this. Like, I don't want to do this. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not interested in that. I understand the fact that, of course, sometimes a child can be on the right path and don't want to go through that process. But what I'm trying to express here, or explain in this video, is that every child carries a destiny. And to make your children's life easier is to help them discover their destiny early, to help them begin early to walk on the right path. And to do that, you have to be sure that you are in line with what God has said concerning their life. God, who is the giver of the destinies, is the one that should be there to partner with you. Because if he is not there to partner with you, you will end up pushing your child to the wall. Of course, you can actually get your children to, live a life you have designed for them. And that is going to keep them stagnated or limited in life, like putting them in positions where they are not meant to be. Maybe you want them to be the next president, you want them to be the next CEO of this company, of that company, or maybe that is not God's plan for their lives. And you end up putting them there. Maybe you pay their school fees, you sponsor them, and you put them there. What will happen is that they are not going to live out their full potential. That is why you see a lot of people who seems like they are struggling, but they have all the qualities. They look like they are talented. They have qualifications, but they are struggling. And no amount of prayer can bring them out, because they are in the wrong place. One thing about destiny is that destiny carries grace. When you talk about destiny, it has, when you are in the atmosphere of God's design purpose for your life, you have grace there, you have help, you have everything falling in pleasant places for you, because you are in place, because your name is in the line there. Your name is in that space. Your name is in that environment. Your name is in that atmosphere. But when that person is in the wrong place, or when your child is in the wrong place, that is when they will not have the right help. They will be meeting a lot of opposition, some kind of trials that they can't even explain. It can only take the grace of God for them to escape a lot of them. So everybody is meant to be in a particular place at a particular time. You are not meant to be everywhere. The same way your children, your unborn children, both the ones that you have given birth to already, they are meant to be in certain places, not everywhere. So as you are planning and proposing for your children, as you are praying for them, be sure that you are praying God's will into their life. Be sure that you are in line with God's purpose for their life. So before you pray for their destiny, you have to seek God's plan for their life. Pray that God help you to understand what He wants them to achieve, to understand where He wants them to be, what He wants them to do, so that you can channel your prayer the right way. Because we're talking about destinies here. The enemy is satisfied when you finally push your child to do something that is exciting, provided that thing is not God's plan for your children. He's excited. He knows that, of course, this is your dream, this is your design. So they can't be fulfilling purpose when they are outside of God's plan for their life. So as big, as good as your dreams and plans and beautiful expectations for your children are, be intentional with making sure that they are in line with God's will. That is when you are now praying, you are praying God's intention. So seek God before you begin to prophesy into their destiny. Because when you are praying, you should be praying in line with what God has called them to be. And that makes their life easy. That makes them, flexible with life and helps them to succeed in life. So the next way to intercede for your child is to pray covering and protection over your child. Yes, a lot of people pray, I cover my child, I cover, you can pray anyhow, but be sure that you are praying the right way. Be sure that you are speaking the right words. Be sure that you are praying with faith, praying by faith. No matter how loud your prayer sounds, if you don't pray by faith or with faith or in faith, your prayer is not going to make tremendous power available. The purpose of prayer is to generate the ability or the fire or the enforcement of the Spirit to be able to enforce that which you have prayed. So you can shout, you can scream, but of course, at the end of the day, your prayers is not working. Yeah, a lot of things happen, and sometimes people wonder why after praying they are not getting results. But of course, when you pray with intentionality, by knowledge, with understanding of who you are in the life of your child, you will pray the right way. Who are you in the life of your child? Is the first question you must understand. So let me answer that question. In the realm of the spirit, you have the full right over your child to prophesy over their life, to speak over their life, because they are your blood, they are your offspring. God has given these children to you. It's like you have the spiritual ownership of your child by the reason of parenting or birth, not just parenting, but the reason of birth, for the fact that this is a seed that came through your loins, or you carry them in their womb. You are the womb that incubated them. Automatically, you have the full right spiritually over your child. And that is why some parents are missing in action. They are missing in the gates of their children. They are not, properly protecting their child. They are not, spiritually, they are missing. They're not taking charge. They don't even understand the fact that they have the full right over their children to prophesy into their life, to speak words that would either it bless them or destroy their lives. They are not aware of that. And that's why they are so careless with words. They can say anything to their child and they don't know that whatever they say is forming, the child's life or forming in the child's life. So you have to understand that in the realm of the spirit, God has given you the total right, the full right, the right of ownership over your children. So you are the prophet over your child's life. So whatever you say, whether negative or positive, is working in their life, is noted, is taken, and is forming their lives. So it's important to take your place to put protection and covering over them. You speak it by faith. You speak it because you understand that God has positioned you to speak protection and covering over your children. You don't keep quiet over your child. You don't just relax. You don't just believe that, yes, God is going to keep my child because I'm born again. It's not like that. Yes, God has the ability to cover us. But of course, He has given us the power of prayer, the ability of prayer, because He knows that we have to, it's called the authority of the believer. We have to make things happen because that is who we are. We rule and reign in Christ. So when you are ruling and reigning, of course, you are passing decrees, you are passing orders. It means that you are the one in charge. You have to give instruction. You can never see a king that doesn't have a word. You know a king by his words, by the things that he has to say, by his decrees. That's how you know a king. So in the life of your child, you are the king. You have the seat of kingship. You have to rule well. You have to bless their life. You have to cover them. You have to pray for them. That's why you see some parents who are living in fear, especially mothers. You are just living in so much fear. You are so afraid of what will happen to your child, even at night and the day as they go to school, and you are just so scared because you are not even sure if they are safe. And you also see some kids who everything that goes happens to them. Every bad thing that passes, they will be the victim of that. This is is a product of a mother or a parent that lacks the ability to cover their children in the place of prayer. Now you cover by understanding. You cover because you know that God has given you the right. Jesus said, "My sheep heareth my voice. I mean, my sheep knows my voice, and they hear me." That is the way it is. These are your children. So when you speak in the realm of the spirit, nobody will ask you the authority you have over your child. Yes, it's as good as that. When you speak in the realm of even the devil knows that you have the right over your child. That's why you must not stop speaking. Speak covering in authority. Speak, the blessings of God over them. So as you're praying for covering and protection, you are praying in understanding, knowing that God has empowered you and God will honor your prayers. God will honor your word as you speak them over your child. And when you speak them, believe that these words are working because angels move by your words. So when they go to school, you don't have to be afraid because you know that you can't even protect your child more than God can do that. You can't protect your children more than the angels can do that. That's why when you speak words of protection and covering over them, you are at peace, you are at rest. So when they go to school, you know that nothing will happen to them by chance, nothing will happen to them, no negative experiences will come to them by chance or by mistake. The next way to intercede for your child is to speak prophetically into the lives of your children. You have to be intentional about this. Prophetic words are simply words that are yet to be seen. They are faith words. You're speaking into the future. You have not started seeing that, but you are intentional. You don't just wait till your child is in need before you begin to speak into their life. I do tell my children, you are the best. You are the best. You are this. And I'm intentional about that because I want them to believe that they are the best. And even before they start understanding what it means to believe that they are the best, these words are heavy. These words are my prophecies. So you need to speak into your child's life. It doesn't matter what you're seeing, whether anything is wrong with your child. Maybe you're having some experiences that you don't understand or you are not expecting or you don't want to see. Of course, prophecy comes to change things. Prophecy comes to change situations. Prophecies are powerful words that, they are words of faith that causes what has not been to become. They are words of creation. That is what prophetic words are. They are words of creation. So if you speak it over your children, it goes ahead of them, it waits for them, it hangs for them. Some of them are blessings. Some of them are ability to live in the line of God's will for their life. Some of them are the ability to avoid and overcome temptations and trials or whatever mistake that could be waiting for them in the future. So you speak prophetically into your children's future, into their life, into their daily lives. My child is not a failure. My child is winning every day. My child is not in bad companies. He's not having a relationship with bad friends. Nobody will destroy my child. My son is getting married to the right woman. Yet they are still very young, but you are speaking prophetic words. You have to be intentional. So mothers and every other person that is seeing this video, you have to understand that this is what we are called to do. Parenting is an assignment from God. If not, I believe that God would have just been creating everybody the same way he created Adam and Eve. But he has given us the responsibility to lead these offsprings of ours, these children of ours, into back to him, to teach them what we know, to prepare them ahead of time over the things that we have seen so far, to prepare them and to empower them. We don't just prepare them, we empower them because God has already empowered us. So the grace of leadership is upon every mother, every father, every parent. And you must understand that God is still going to ask you how you were able to raise your children. Ezekiel 22:30 says, I sought for a man that should stand in the gap for them. You have to understand that God has chosen you as a parent to stand in the gap for your children. It's not questionable. You don't have to question it. God has chosen you to stand in the gap for your children. It's your responsibility, and you're going to be answering to the Lord how you were able to stand in the gap for your child. It's important. You don't have to get all busy that you don't know how to intercede for your child. You don't have times when you speak prophetic words into their lives. You have to be intentional. You have to keep doing it. Intercession is not what you do today and leave tomorrow. It is your full responsibility as a parent, as a mother, as a father. You have that full responsibility every single time, even in your old age, even when they leave your house and they are no longer with you. That is parenting because God has not left you. The Bible says that God will never leave us nor forsake us. That's his promise. And as a father that he is to us, he is an example. Yeah, we are to be like Christ. Yes, we are to behold him and become like him. So you have to understand that parenting is a full-time assignment. Motherhood is a full-time assignment.